Today, you get to meet Carlo Martinez. He's an analytics entrepreneur and founder of SteppingBlocks.com. If you're wondering what Stepping Blocks is, it's an amazing company that empowers people earlier in their career with information and resources to get out on the right path. The value prop for Stepping Blocks, and I quote, "It empowers people early in their careers with information and resources so they can increase their chance of success." Sounds pretty amazing to me. Let's watch.
Tatiana Jordan. Did I get the name right?
Titania.
Titania. Okay. All right.
It's Titania Jordan.
All right, Carlo, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
You know, I see you around the village. We're friends at the Atlanta Tech Village, get to work in that amazing place. And I've seen you at ATP events, and just we keep running into each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm finally so excited to have you like in the studio where I can hear your story. And so tell everybody why Stepping Blocks.
So why Stepping Blocks? It's a great question, and it really started back in many years ago. The why. The why is because when I started my career, when I graduated college, I had a degree in finance from Georgia State, which is a great university, but what I was not ready was for the real world. And it was very difficult for me to find a job. So I thought, man, I have a diploma, I can go out and I'm gonna get all these offers, and the world is gonna come to me, and it didn't happen. So I was, I had to go out and find jobs. Like I was a bartender, I sold perfume, and I, sold paintings. I just did all these things, and I trying to get a job, and I just could not get a job. And grades were okay. I don't know really what was wrong with me. So then I eventually found my first finance job as a teller inside a Walmart branch. Right, and you don't really need a degree for that. That was my first opportunity to work for this, Fortune 500 company and grow. But then, like, how the hell do I go from here to, to grow, right?
So many layers.
Right. So then, but that was my mission at that point. Like, okay, how do I go from here and I become some kind of executive? Or I honestly wanted just like a business card that said director, VP, something, right? And then so that journey was difficult, but I kind of learned what you need to do. So. I learned obviously your network, the people that you know and who you meet is very important. Then also what you learn, and what you learn through college or through school is important. But really, the lessons come in after you graduate, and the strategic learning that you need to do. Most people end up working in something that has nothing to do with what they went to school for, right?
Yep.
So then I learned, so I started joining like all these nonprofit organizations that like executives were going to. So if I wanted to be like them, I needed to hang out where they were.
Yes.
So I started to meet them, get mentors, connect with them, just get on their radar, and then understanding what's required to move up. So doing that, I moved into the corporate world, the entry-level positions, and ended up managing. Moved into corporate credit risk, then marketing analytics, and I stumbled into this world of data analytics, right? And once I was doing that, I got into figuring out that decisions in this world, in this age, are being done with data. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Like we call a data nerd, right? Like,
that's great.
Yeah, so it kind of became a passion of mine, an obsession. Like I was trying to predict, a big soccer fan, so I predict like, pull data from the soccer players. And
I know a few people who love soccer.
So yeah, just trying to play around with data, making decisions. And then as I became more involved with that, I thought, well, think about education and thinking about how we go out and get degrees and get education and pick careers with very limited information without knowing what's out there. So I thought, well, what if I could find a way to harness a lot of data, and I could find and show people these paths in the real world. So if I could see, well, let's show people that go to Georgia State and study nutrition, are they really ending up in nutrition? And if they're not, where are they going? How much money they make? What companies are hiring, right? So you can make a more informed decision. So that was kind of the starting point, but then I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this, right? I didn't know much about the tech community in Atlanta. I was a corporate person my whole life. As a matter of fact, I remember when I started to learn about this, I saw you in the Atlanta Tech Edge show.
Yeah.
I think you were interviewing, there was a startup you were interviewing, and then Kashi, you were interviewing Kashi. Yeah, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, man, I was like, I want to be in there, like one no joking. And I was like, I didn't know there was a tech show, I didn't know there was a community to learn about the tech village. And then, and this was maybe 3 years ago. And then I said, okay, I've been doing these nights and weekends, and I know that there's something that needs to be done here, and left that corporate world and decided to build it. So that's how it all started, and that's how I ended up in the tech village, starting this company, and that's why.
So what you didn't say was incredible passion and drive and hard work are all themes that are running throughout your story. And now let's get to the elevator pitch. What is the elevator pitch for Stepping Blocks?
Okay, so the elevator pitch. Stepping Blocks is a digital career counselor, in essence, right? So our goal, our mission is to help people make an intelligent decision about their education and career, right?
Which is so key.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm still paying off student loans, and I was so lost when I was in college. I had no idea what I truly wanted to do. There were so many things I wanted to do. It was hard to decide. And then once you get out, you don't necessarily go into the field that you studied for.
Right.
There's no way I would have known back then that I would be sitting here today in front of a camera talking to you. I definitely did not go to school for that. So, man, it would have been cool to have Stepping Blocks to kind of make some database decisions that maybe would have gotten me here faster. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Most people don't know. I think one of the main things I found through my career was being exposed to things, right? And I think when I was in college, I took a Java class, and I was like, man, it was so boring. I'm never going to be a programmer. I'm never going to be in front of a computer because it was so boring. Never thought I'm going to be learning code because I need to, and then loving doing that. But it's just because I was exposed to it, but it took a while for me to get exposed to what you can do with those things. And I think that what we want to do is if we expose people to like, hey, don't just look at this career path, look at all these people, all these things that people have done. They can change, but let's get these experts, let's get these people that are really successful to help you do the best at that next thing, right? But we know it's going to change. People think ahead, in 10 years I'm going to be X. But some people do, some people don't. But if you get exposed to other things, it's combining those to make the best out of it. Absolutely. So we believe in that, and I think we have an amazing team, and they all believe in this thing, and it's really complex, right? Because it's the human component, the data component, and then the presentation, how we project that to our users, and who's our user, So that's been challenging. But at the end of the day, it's helping those people feel good about the next decision and feel prepared. And you have received funding. Yes. Your team is growing. Those are great benchmarks. That's a really, really good feeling. Is there any position that you're hiring for right now? Yes. So right now, we've been looking for a React developer, senior level React developer. Okay. It's been very difficult to find. So it's a sort of new technology. You find talent on that, they usually get snatched. The ones that we wanted to get, they've been snatched. So we've been looking for that talent, someone with background with just building web applications and Redux. That would be great if we could get one, before the end of the year. Hello, any senior React developers? We might know a few. So excellent. Yeah. So it would, that would be great. Cool. And then coming into 2018, we recently got a grant to work on a project that we're calling the CSPI. So it's with the National Science Foundation, and it's to build an index that's going to help school curriculum on computer science align with the job market, right? So that's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool. So we got the grant, and then we'll be looking for a data scientist, a developer, for next year on that. So that's a really cool project that aligns exactly to what we're trying to do at Stepping Blocks. So it's really cool. So we've been looking for people. So good. Well, we can help you with that. What would you say beyond finding the right people for your growing company? What could we do as a community, both Atlanta and online, to pour into you and help you achieve your goals for 2018? So, I think, Atlanta has been great so far because, things like this, we went to Tech Edge and just there's the community itself. And I think that exposure helps a lot. Spreading the message and mentoring the team and mentoring the community on what to do and what not to do. Because you're constantly once you think you know something, it's like, oh my God, there's all these other things that you don't know, and it just never ends. So I think just having, just being exposed to those things, exposure for the company, exposure of our message, of what we're trying to do, feedback, it's always great. We love the good feedback, but even more I would say the negative feedback, but something that tells us how to do better.
Right.
So yeah, all those things help us out, help us to grow.
What kind of key partnerships would be amazing to secure?
So key partnerships would be, we are in the business of data collection and aggregation. So people that have databases of resumes or salary information, school information. So we have data partnerships. Right now we're looking also the nice thing about this platform is that while it focuses on education growth, we can go into recruiting and we can go help veterans and help their workforce. But at the end of the day, the engine is the data. So if we have partnerships on data of how we can provide maybe analytics and we exchange for data, and we're just kind of developing these things as we go, those are great. Integrations with other educational software is also great. Obviously, anyone that's doing anything in the education space, whether it's the Department of Education, nonprofits that are seeking to help people in certain ways with their career paths, anything like that helps us.
So Carlo, tell me some success stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how has Stepping Blocks helped others so far?
So it's that's been one of the rewarding points. I think our first one was we had a student come through, and so went in and had she was about to graduate from Georgia Gwinnett College, and when she came in, she was kind of lame resume, kind of like mine when I graduated. So the goal was to see how do we transform her in a short period of time so she can go ahead and get an internship. So put it in there, and the application, once you set your targets, it tells you what certain things that you should do. And so she learned to build websites. So I think she was a international business major. And she ended up learning how to build a website and learn how to analyze data through some scraper that she learned through some tutorials that were in there, and then joined a nonprofit organization, which made her resume really well. So basically built up her portfolio. And ended up I think it was within 3 or 4 months, getting an internship at UPS, which turned into a job right now. So
wow.
That was a really cool first success story. And she brought us cake to the office, and that was awesome.
Cake is great.
Yeah, cake is great. I think I posted something as it went out. When somebody wins at $7, we'll get cake. But yeah, so we've seen stories like that. We've seen people see scholarships and then apply for the scholarships and hoping that things come through. And we're hoping to get a lot more success stories of. There's been a lot of people going in there, and then you can see where they switch their majors and they get exposed to things, and they start looking at different colleges, or they start looking at the different career paths, and then you see them learning stuff. And I think this is one thing that over time we're going to start tracking and seeing where's the real success coming from. So we do apply a lot of machine learning in our application for it to start learning what are the key things that make this type of person successful, so we can channel that information to them. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we want to do. We want to see more of those success stories. Any success like that is our success.
Absolutely,
so
and I think you will. And I don't know if you are like me in that you think, man, if I only knew this when I was 17,
I know, right?
And then this when I was 21,
mm-hmm.
and had a mentor when
mm-hmm.
I was 26,
mm-hmm.
You're doing that for people
yes.
in the crucial time when they need it,
mm-hmm.
using technology, which I love when people use technology for good.
Mm-hmm.
So Carlo Martinez, Stepping Blocks, y'all need to check it out and pour into this amazing human and the things that he is doing for this next generation. So Carlo, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.